Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being at our ACAP meeting for a January meeting, and I'm glad to see all of you swam your way here in the crazy weather. I'm going to apologize in advance for any of that humming that you hear because our basement is leaking with the weather, and so we have people wet backing that up so no one slips and falls, speaking about fall prevention. So, kind of topical, right? We've got some great speakers here today. We're going to kind of divide the time up. Normally we have an hour for one presenter, but we've got some really great people here today. So we're going to start with Lisa and Nancy. Lisa is a staff member, as some of you know, at Legacy Link. She's been here for 18 years. And Nancy is an occupational therapist at Brown University and is really a subject matter expert about falls. After them, we're going to hear from Holly Johnson with Habitat for Humanity to really learn how we can make sure that homes are better able to prevent falls in the future. So Lisa and Nancy, all ready? Sure. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn this on.
I feel like I'm in the dark. Because the dark is not good for fall prevention, right? Well, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you. Thank you for those who weathered the storm out there. And also not good for fall prevention, but we try. As we start the conversation about falls, we just want to talk a little bit about the facts so that we know where we are. And facts really are, the fact is falls are really common, unfortunately. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't know someone who's fallen? No. Everybody knows somebody who's fallen, right? Each year, millions of older adults, those 65 and over, fall, and in fact, more than 1 out of 4 people falls each year. And unfortunately, less than half tell their healthcare provider about their fall. And falling once actually doubles your chance of falling again. So it's not like a one and done, unfortunately. Falls are costly. A recent CDC study showed the estimated medical cost for falls in the U.S. healthcare system is $50 billion. So it is definitely a costly issue. And most importantly, falls are preventable. So that's why we want to talk about the issues. The facts are there, but falls are preventable, and also the level of injury is adjustable depending on what we do about it. There's a couple of myths I just want to go through real quickly. The first myth is that the topic of falls isn't an important issue for me. That's what some people tend to think. It's not going to happen to me, right?
Right.
Did you think that, Nancy?
I did. I've fallen twice. Not recently, but.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen. I actually fell down my stairs carrying a table. Those are things you should not do. You should not carry a table down the stairs. Certainly not by yourself and all of that. The table did not break, and I didn't break anything, but the fact is many falls don't cause injuries, but 1 of 5 falls does cause a serious injury, like a broken bone or a head injury. And these injuries can make it really hard for a person to get around and do everyday activities or even live on their own. So you can see what the cost there is. Myth number 2, falls are just part of growing older and I can't do anything about it. Well, we're here to tell you today that that's not true. There's lots that you can do to help yourself. I mean, our bodies do change as we get older. There are changes that we can't have an actual effect on as far as some age-related changes that can increase our risk for falls. But there are definitely things that we can do to reduce our chances of falling. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. The third myth is so long as I stick close to home, I can avoid falling. Where do most falls happen? At home. Yes. So the idea of staying home is actually increasing our risk for falls. We're not being as active. So that myth is not true. Myth number 4, if I've experienced a fall, the best way to prevent falling again is to sit down most of the time and avoid physical activity. So I know some of these sound a little humorous, but I can give some examples of people who you know, if I stay in my chair, I'm not going to fall. But then you can't actually get up and do things, and then you're more likely to fall. So there's that. And then the fifth myth I have here is if I'm concerned about falls, I shouldn't mention it to my family members or my healthcare provider because they might just try to slow me down. So the fact of the matter is a lot of people don't want to tell not just their healthcare provider, as we mentioned, but they don't want to tell family members. And I'm sure that y'all could give some examples of why they don't tell family members. But the idea is they think the family will automatically say, well, you can't live by yourself anymore. You have to go to that nursing home. And sometimes getting help in the home, or, you know, there might come a time where more assistance is needed, but there's also problem solving that can be done. And so you can discuss some of the changes that can be made to your environment and to your activity level and things you didn't know about they might be able to help you with. And certainly your healthcare provider, and Nancy will talk more about working with your healthcare provider regarding falls. So I'm going to turn it over to Nancy, and then we'll move deeper in and explain what all this is as well.
Thank you. So there are a lot of risks that you can figure out. This is more likely to make me going to fall, and I need to check on these things. The first one is just the fact that you're getting older. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to. Children fall all the time, don't they? But something about getting older, and it's not just the number of the age, but it's what we're doing or not doing. As we get older, we might get less active. We might lose our strength, our flexibility, a lot of different things. So that's just the stats. Older people tend to fall more. Females tend to fall more. Not real sure about that. Maybe it's because we live longer than a lot of the guys. I don't know what it is. But that's another stat. Having an illness, diabetes, Parkinson's, COPD, cancer, all of these things affect your strength and your cognition, your state of mind, everything going on in your life, and they can affect your ability to prevent falls. If you have visual impairments, macular degeneration, cataracts, or just slowly it's getting darker in there and it's hard to see things, contrast can make a big difference there. But when you don't have that and you're walking around, I have seen some of the most amazing, ridiculous pictures on the internet of stairs with carpets that look like they would just make you nauseous. And these are in public places, and all I can think is falls, 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 because there's not contrast, it's just the craziness that makes it hard to see where you're going. If you have a cognitive decline, and you may be aware of this, or you may not, your family may be aware or wondering about this, this makes it harder for you to make decisions sometimes, or if you're in the midst of a busy time, it gets in the way as well. Polypharmacy, which is lots of different medications. This is the day and age where people take multiples. Now, I've seen people go to the doctor with, the bag. My parents used to go with the bag of all the different things they would take. And if you're going, especially if you're going to multiple pharmacies, or if you're just not keeping a good look at these can interact poorly on you, and they can also cause dizziness and lightheadedness and affect your cognition as well. The fact of having decreased strength and balance. Anybody here not so fond of exercise? I'm one of them. I love to read. I don't get a whole lot of exercise sitting in my recliner reading, so I really have to push myself to do that. But as we don't exercise and move and stay active, especially if we've had a fall and we start, I think I said this to my parents, it's like you're pulling in your horns. And you're scared to go anywhere and do anything, and the more scared you get, the tighter you get, and the less you do, and the less active you are. It's just this can start a poor spiral. And then there's these sort of soft things of pride and hurrying. I don't want to accept help. I'm not going to tell my kids because I'm scared of what they might do. I don't want to use adaptive equipment. Oh, that walker, that's what old people use. I'm not going to, no, I don't want to use that. So these things can get in our way and prevent us from being safe. And then there's a whole host of environmental things as well. poor lighting in your house. Whether or not you've got poor vision, it may not be quite as sharp as it used to be. If you've not got very good lighting, if you've been in your home for a long time and you're used to it, my mother used to feel her way around in the dark. You know, go, what's it called, furniture?
Furniture walking.
Okay, that's what she would do. And she did it until it didn't work. But it's not a safe way to live. So poor lighting can be a problem. Lack of visual contrast, as I mentioned before, everything looks the same or it's so hideously different that you get lost in it. Unsafe footwear. Oh my goodness, have you ever seen someone with the flip-flops or the old slippers that they just are loath to give up? Yeah, I like my old slippers, but they slip. That's why they're called slippers. They slip and they flip. And they don't fit you very well. They're not giving good support. Slippery floors, rugs, the tub area, all these are unsafe places. Pets underfoot. I've known so many people who've tripped over their pet or pet toys. So things, they may not have the Legos anymore, but they've got the little slippery dog chew toy or something, or cat toy that they slipped right on. So that's a problem. If you've got a crowded interior, I've known a lot of people who downsized into an apartment and they took everything with them. The only thing that downsized was the building, but their stuff is all in there and it's just like, oh my goodness, trying to get through because they can't quite let go of it. Or an unfamiliar exterior. And you've gone to Kroger lots of times, but they suddenly changed something. Or you're going to a new store or whatever. It's a different exterior you're not used to. And I will add one more thing to it. Not paying attention. That's part of the hurrying. I've been doing this for, donkey's years. I can do this and I don't think about it. But my body has changed in all those donkey's years and doesn't react in the way that it used to. And so I can not notice that that curb is there and not painted bright, or that this stair is slippery, or that there's water on the floor. Oh my goodness. I slipped on water at work and I fractured my knee. So if you don't notice things. So there's a lot of risk there, a lot of things going on that can cause you to be more at risk for falls. But as Lisa said more than once, there are things you can do. Well, there's nothing you can do about your age. We're getting older, yay! Not everybody has that privilege, so we're glad to be getting older. But we're not going to go the other direction. And I'm trying to be political here, non-political here. We're females. That's just how it is. That's not going to change either. If you've got an illness, what can you do? Talk to your doctor, to your caregiver, your supporters, to plan ahead. So that's the trajectory of this particular thing. Parkinson's is a good example because of the tremors that cause people to be very unsteady. Think ahead, plan ahead. Talk with your caregivers to see what you can do about that. Make any changes now in your home, in your living environment, to prepare for that. Ask your doctor to evaluate your risk for falling and see what they say. That's always an interesting question. If you have vision issues, again, talk to your doctor about that. Regular visits to your eye doctor at least once a year, and upgrade your glasses as needed. Look around your house, add color contrast. We have a handout for you later that has a good home checklist on it. And I can show you some equipment here as well. So add color contrast as needed so that you can see. Add lighting. More and better lighting in your home is a big deal. I have a flashlight in my kitchen and one in my bedroom just because there's times I have an older home that doesn't have an overhead light. Sometimes it's helpful to have that flashlight so I can see whatever it is because I can't see as well as I used to. And there are places that it's hard for me to add lighting, but there are lots of different things you can buy and do to make your home better. Just getting better light bulbs. What are the LED? I had a kitchen light installed a couple of years ago, and the guy says, no, you don't ever have to change this bulb. Probably not the rest of your life. But if it does need it, you have to take the whole thing down and put a whole new one up. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. It is wonderfully bright, and I can see in my kitchen, so that was a good upgrade. What about cognitive issues? What can you do? Talk to your doctor and your caregivers again and plan ahead. And also, check your medications if you're taking anything for those cognitive issues, or if you're taking anything that might be causing some of those cognitive issues. One of the things that popped up many times with clients was urinary tract infection, a UTI. And it looks like dementia. It looks like a person went from normal to, oh my gosh, we're so demented, we can't think straight. And they can't because of that UTI. So there are things going on sometimes that can be fixed, which is a helpful, a good thing. If there's a possibility of polypharmacy, if you have a bag, even a small bag, or a long list on your phone, or wherever you keep this, it's a good idea to have all your meds from one pharmacy so that your pharmacist can check everything at once. Have them do an evaluation of everything you're taking and look for interactions and look for all the things that's on there that could possibly cause dizziness. Now, my mom was a kind of a worrier, and the doctor told her, do not read this stuff, you know, the pages and pages with her medication, because it will scare the pants off of you. You won't ever want to take any of this medication, and she needed it. But your pharmacist can read it. Your pharmacist will know and can give you the information of, yeah, maybe we can talk with your doctor about changing this one. Talk with your doctor about your meds as well. Take that information from your pharmacist. Talk to the doctor. This is maybe causing me to be a bit dizzy. Is there something we can do? Can I change it? Can I back off on it a little bit? Something like that. If you have decreased strength and balance, the first thing is to recognize this, because that's a hard thing for us. I'm 67, and it's a little hard to say, oh, I can't do that. Well, maybe I could if I would do this. Move it. Move it. Move it. Exercise is such good medicine for us to keep flexible, to keep strong, keep your core strength, keep your legs strong. I used to do an exercise class with older adults at Myrtle Terraces. And as we did leg exercises, I would tell them, this is really important to keep you out of a nursing home. And they would just kind of, what? The main reason it seems like that people end up in a nursing home is because they can't get on and off the toilet themselves. So the squats, stand up, sit down from a chair, do this a lot to keep your legs strong so that you can continue to do that. That's something that people really want to be independent in, is their toileting. So you have to work at it sometimes. So become more physically active, strengthen your legs, improve your balance. Tai Chi is a really good exercise, movement, and fun thing to do that will increase your balance and increase your strength. Has anyone here ever participated in Tai Chi? Do you like it?
No, I would like it. I just don't have access to
Gotcha.
where it was being taught. But
Yeah.
it was very interesting, very intriguing.
It is a good thing. Yeah. I saw another hand somewhere in the back of someone. Can you still do it?
Occasionally, I switch to yoga.
That's good too. Yeah. Whatever we do that gets us moving is a good thing, even if it's just a walk every day. I have a boomerang living with me. He's 42. He just got a job. He's moving this week. Yay! I love him, but so he said, it's time for me to be a grown-up. And I'm like, yes. And so he got out and he walked every day around our block. It's a uphill, a lot of uphill and stuff. And then he would run, and he has dropped weight. He looks so much better. Good for you before you get too old to do these things or think you're too old to do these things. So he's making strides to be in a stronger place too. So keep moving. Find something that you enjoy doing. A lot of people don't like the E word. I don't want to exercise. But maybe you would enjoy it with a group, or find something else that is movement that isn't the E word if that's not your favorite thing to do. So the environmental thing, there's a lot of things you can do environmentally. It takes first having some fresh eyes, looking around your home, looking at it. Look at it as if you were going to sell it maybe, but then look at it looking for things that could cause you to fall. So the lights, we already talked about that a little bit, add more and brighter light bulbs. If you have stairs of any kind anywhere, Does anybody here have a home that does not have a step to get into it? They don't make them that way.
Do you really? Oh, hallelujah. And you rarely see those. Everybody's got a step because they either got a crawl basement or, but still, wonderful. Most of us have to step up somewhere or other. Do you have a handrail at your door for the step up to get in? No, we don't think about those. It's just 1 or 2 steps, right? That would be a helpful addition, putting a handrail there. Adding some non-slip treads, and I'll show you some. We'll show you some in a few minutes. Make sure the handrail that you do have is sturdy. If you've got a stairway in your house, really on both sides especially, is helpful. And don't carry tables down them either, or anything else that's big and bulky that will make things difficult. We always think I can do this. I can just do this, right? So inspect the handrail, make sure you've got a handrail. See if the treads are slippery. You know, depending on the material it is, if you've got older carpet that's starting to wear, or maybe you've got wood floor, whatever it is, check for slipperiness and check for contrast on it as well. But you can, there's things you can do to make the stair treads more noticeable so that you don't slip. I had all the steps at Rural Terraces lined with a piece of bright colored tape right on the ends of the steps so people could see them because they were just black steps going down. Makes a world of difference so that you can see where things are. Get rid of things you could trip over. Pet toys. I won't say get rid of your pet because that would be awful. But that goes back to that being aware, noticing, paying attention to what's going on around you. You know your little dog is going to be around you, so pay a lot more attention. It slows us down, and we don't like that. I don't like that. But that's okay. I'd rather, and I hope you would too, slow down a little bit, be aware of the dog and the other things going on, then fall, because I kind of hurry in just like whatever. Small, slippery rugs, or just sometimes small rugs, whether or not they're slippery, you can catch your toe on them and trip you. I feel like I stumble over air sometimes. And that's a little scary. I'm in my own home and I'm just walking along and all of a sudden, where'd that come from? There's nothing there. There's no pet. There's no rug. It's just air. So I feel like slow down a little bit and just pay more attention and look where you're going. If you've got a spill and you see it, wipe it up. If you know you spill something, wipe it up. When I fell at work on a floor like this, which is just cement under there, yeah, we were emptying dehumidifiers or something. I didn't know the water was there. I couldn't see it. Fractured my knee. Really did a number on it. If I'd known it was there, I would have wiped it up. So anytime you're in your home and you have a spill, go ahead and do it. If bending over and getting to it is a difficulty for you or your older adult, that's where reachers and paper towels come in handy. You can do it that way. You don't have to get down all the way to the floor to do it. In your bathtub. Some people use those plastic rugs that stick in there, and they work really well. They also mold really well, and they're a nasty thing to keep clean, in my opinion. I've never cared for them. Some of the newer tubs today come with a non-stick, kind of a roughy kind of surface in them, but mine didn't. Mine is a 50-year-old tub, so it doesn't have that. You have to put strips in there. I didn't bring that. That would have been a good thing. You can buy them, use it at Walmart or online, and just apply them to your tub so that you feel with your feet that's a good non-slip place. Grab bars. Grab bars all around your tub, around your toilet. Coming in the door, if you didn't want to put a handrail going in, you could put a grab bar. That's what we did for her. She just had one little step to go into the kitchen. The grab bar was great because you could pull her up. So grab bars are helpful as well. Okay, to the shoes. Toss them. Go get a new pair so that you're safe. I know so many ladies who love flip-flops in the summer. It's hot here in the summer in Georgia. I understand that. Flip-flops are not safe. Some sandals are not safe. People are different, but we always think, oh, it won't happen to me. That was one of your myths, it won't happen to me. And then I met actually a younger woman at Myrtle Terraces wearing some, I don't know what she was wearing. Totally fell. She said, I'm not wearing any of those ever again. As long as I live, I'm getting closed-toe shoes. And so she has. So you do what is important to you to keep yourself safe. Yeah. That's why I quit wearing high heels. That doesn't work for me. And then the last one is ask for help. Oh, that one sticks. It's so hard to do. We get scared. Yes, I'm scared my kids are going to put me in a nursing home right away. Well, so start now and have a better relationship with them so that you can, okay, mom's going to be okay. I really don't want to go to a nursing home. Let's figure something else out here. I'm working to be stronger. I'm working to make my home safer. I want you to help me with that. Well, I thought they can come help you figure out ways for your home to be a safer place for you to be. So ask for help from your doctor. Ask for help from other caregivers that you have. Talk with people. This group is a great place because you can talk to others who may be caregivers. Maybe they have ideas that you haven't thought of, or you can share with them your ideas as well. The biggest takeaway from this, from me, is to aim to balance your safety with your quality of life. If you're only worried about your safety, and you may do that thing that Lisa was talking about, I'm going to stay home, I'm going to sit in my chair, I can't fall out of my chair. Yeah, well, I can't get out of my chair either. So you get too afraid to do anything, which is where Matter of Balance is a wonderful program to talk about and think about your fears of falling. On the other hand, if your quality of life is, I'm going to go jump out of airplanes, I'm going to go ice skating, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I'm going to take tables down the stairs, I'm going to stand on the sofa to hang my curtains. No. You have to balance that with a little common sense. I want this kind of life, and I want some good things, but I want to be safe. So finding a balance that works for you is an important thing. And communicating this to your children, to your caregivers, to your doctors, telling them, I want to be safe, and yet I want to have strong quality of life as well. So work something out so that it suits you in whatever way is best for you. Now, let's talk about some of these goodies. Do you want to start?
Sure. So we have a few things that can make life a little bit safer in a couple of varieties. And I'm going to start with the lighting because Nancy talked a lot about lighting. And you mentioned having lighting in places that, you don't necessarily have a switch to flip or anything like that. And you can get little things like, anyway, this is a little light that we got at Harbor Freight, or Walmart probably has them, and Amazon. But it turns on like that, and in a dark room, that's pretty bright. And it's battery operated. It has magnet backing. You can hang it on 2 nails. It can have a Velcro piece on there too. And so that can be there. They have ones that have like a little switch, like a light switch too. But this can go anywhere. So if you have a space that doesn't have power to plug something in, these are really great options to have all over the place. And you don't actually have to, you can use it as a flashlight if you just want to keep it on the counter and move it wherever you want to go and turn it on when you want it.
Awesome.
So those are really great options. This is not a light, but I want to show this. I know it's not that easy to see. It's a little triangle, but if anybody has a lamp, I know they have the lamp where you can clap your hands now, or you can touch the bottom, but if you have a lamp that you have to turn on with a little switch, that is hard to do. And many of those that still have those switches, they're old, right? So they don't work all that well, all of that. So this little triangle fits right over your the knob on the light. And so you have a better grip to turn it on and off. So this, while it is not a light per per se, can be really important for older adults that really love that lamp. I should have brought a picture of the lamp that I have it's from like I'm not going to say 50s, it's probably 70s. It's like a metal, and it's got little gems all over it. And I'm sorry, I just cannot part with that. I know it's a little tacky, but it has the little light knob, the switch, so that's perfect for it.
That might encourage someone to actually turn on the light if they
Yes.
need the light in the room rather than, oh, that thing hurts my hand too much, forget it, I'll just feel my way through.
Exactly. My mother-in-law, she always seemed to sit in the dark because it was hard to turn the lights on the lamp, and she didn't want to have the overhead light on, and so she was always in the dark, like we talked about. So that's a great little tool. This is a nightlight motion sensor. They're everywhere, finding the lights that you plug in, but having them in the halls all over your house is a great option, and there's so many different varieties. Just making sure, and regular night lights, that you have everywhere. Motion sensor, or they can be motion sensor, or when it's bright in the area, they don't come on. When the dark happens, then they come on. This one is probably one of my favorites. We call it the Party in the Potty. It is a toilet bowl nightlight. So this goes on the outside of the toilet bowl, this goes on the inside, and you set it over the bottom of the bowl. And when you turn the lights off in the room, the bowl lights up. It's motion sensor. It stays on for about 2 minutes if you walk out of the room, but the bowl lights up, and that's a big space that gives you a good bit of light in the bathroom. So in the middle of the night, you don't want to turn on all the lights, right? But you need light in the bathroom. This is great. And the reason why it's a Party in the Potty is because this particular one rotates through eight different colors. So, you can set it to just one color if you like one, but it can rotate. So this is a great little thing. I've heard people talk about getting them at white elephant gift parties and things like that. But it's just a fun little thing to have, but it's so functional. It's funny, but it's functional. So as far as the lights go, there's that. How about, you talked about shoes.
Yes.
I'm not promoting these shoes at all. While they are good shoes, good bottoms, they're all that. But sometimes it's not so easy to get shoes on. More and more shoes, like yours don't have laces, do they?
They're just slides.
So slide-in is good and helpful because number one, we have to bend over to tie shoes, which if you bend over too far, you could end up going out of the chair. And the other thing is we don't want to fall over shoelaces that are open. So these are some tools that you can get that you replace your shoelaces with these, and they become just the elastic shoes that you don't have to, or the stretch that you don't have to tie and untie, and you just pull it up so that you can put it on. And that way you don't have to throw away all your shoes that have shoelaces. This is a much more efficient way to do that. These are called lock laces, and they do sell them at Walmart. They'll sell them on Amazon, of course. We don't sell any of it. So those are easy to find, lots of different colors. And then these are hickey laces. These are individual little rings that open and close, and but you only have to put them on once. But they're a little bit more work to do, but they're a possibility as well. So if tying shoes is something you don't want to have to do and you don't want to throw away all your shoes, that's a good way to go.
There's your shoehorn too.
Oh yeah. Again, for bending over, you don't want to have to bend over, right? So, most shoehorns are about this long, and you still have to get down there with it to get your shoes on. But these, and I know this is more your wheelhouse, but it's easy to get the shoe on and off, even if you're standing. I realize I'm a short person, so I can reach better. But even if you're sitting in a chair, it doesn't mean you have to bend over. So the shoehorn is great. And so speaking of bending, I would imagine most people have seen one of these. if you've not seen these things, the reacher is pretty common. And they come in all shapes and sizes, and $5 to a lot more money. But having one of these can be so helpful around the house that you don't have to, like you talked about, not having to pick things up off the floor. You can put the paper towel in here and kind of wipe up the spill. There's so many things. So having a reacher around the house, so if you're looking for something to give, I mean, for me, giving my mom a present is so hard because what? They have everything, right? So some of these kinds of things are great gifts for friends or for older adults because they would not necessarily think to buy it for themselves, but it can be really practical. Let's see, I'm going to touch on this car item. This is called a handy bar. There are different brands of them. This one is for your car, and it becomes an actual handle to help you get in and out of the car. There's a picture here you can look at afterwards, but when you open your car door, there's a little loop right here. That's where the latch for the door is. Well, you stick this in that loop, and then you turn to get out, and you can push on it to help you stand up. It gives you that support. This one will cut the seat belt too, you know, if you end up in the lake or today and you can't get out of your car for some reason. But generally speaking, it'll break the windshield. I mean, it's got all the potential that way, but the idea is to use it to get up when you're in the car. And all the car doors have the little loop. So that's a very handy tool. Nancy, do you want to talk about the treads and stuff? And then
Yes.
I'll talk about the high-tech stuff.
Okay, actually, I'm going to start with the
Okay.
snack.
Yeah.
So there was a lady that told me one time she was afraid if she fell, she'd be lying there and she'd get hungry, so she made little snack bags and left them around her house. I just thought that was cool. Yeah. I mean, you can always eat snacks, right? Even if I haven't fallen in a couple of weeks, let's go eat those, and so I can replace them. Right? Anyway, so there's a lot of things for the floor here. I've got one set of treads for stairs, and they're very rough, so you probably don't want them in your house, but maybe going to the basement or maybe outside of the steps or something. I like this, but particularly because it's got that one contrast stripe on it that's just so easy to see against the black. These are really helpful for places like that. Lisa had some here that's even more contrast. You're not going to miss this. Again, you probably don't want it inside your lovely home going upstairs on the carpet, but there are places that it can be helpful. It can also be used not on the floor because of the touch. You can feel that and know that sometimes that can help. Here's some different tape. Oh, I didn't get out the one that I had, but anyway. This is, so if you want to do some contrast marking, there's all kinds of tape out there, all kinds of colors. You've got your choice of all kinds of things, but a bright neon, yellow or orange or pink or something, to mark the edge of cabinets where if it's open, you go, oh, the color's there. Because if your vision is a little off or a lot off, you might not notice that the dishwasher door is open or the cabinet door is open or something else. This can also mark the treads on stairs going down inside your home and other things where you want to be able to see the difference going on, to mark things. Sometimes it's hard to go from, I mean, if your home was all carpeted like this all the way through with no thresholds, it wouldn't be a problem, but usually we have different flooring. And changing from one to the other, there's a threshold or something, a bump, and sometimes you can see it and sometimes you can't. So this kind of thing can be helpful. This is rug tape, carpet tape. I've seen an awful lot of people that will put in a big area rug, and then, which is fine for most areas and most parts of the rug, but the edge again is something that I would trip over easily. So taping it down so that it doesn't come up can make that a little better. And then I brought these puffy paints. I've got several colors here, and I've done some out so that you can feel the difference. Typically, I use this as an OT with people who have very low vision and need to find where's 350 on your oven, so you mark that, or on your microwave.
But you could also put it, what was it you said you had?
On the
best-
bottom of socks.
Bottom of socks.
give them
So
a
if you
little
want some
grippiness.
grippy socks, that will help a little bit with that. Oh,
Yeah.
so if you're in the shower and you drop your soap and you don't have your reacher, that's tough. And I have not been able to find affordable, easy to find soap on a rope. But a little thing in knee highs, put the soap in it and tie it onto the handle, and you've got your soap there. And it's not going to go anywhere, and you can use the soap right through the hose. You can, apply it directly or use it on whatever. It works really well, and you will not lose your soap. And that is a helpful thing, a really helpful thing. And I think
The box on the
thank you. So this is a big box of cord protector. If you've got any cords that want to run across places where you walk, this is a good idea. It probably could use some contrast on top of it because it's just a taupe color, but it's better than having the loose cords. That's one of the first things we teach our students to look for when they're doing a home event. Are there any cords where somebody could trip? I was at a vacation cabin over the holiday, and we were trying to do a puzzle, and there was no light over it, so somebody brought a lamp over it's like, oh my gosh, fall hazard, this is terrible. We fixed it, but so you have to look for those things, and instead of saying, it'll be okay, it's not going to happen to me to trip over that, you fix it instead. Okay, now you in electronics.
The last thing that I brought out here today, just to show you, is an idea. So many people just have cell phones. They don't have a landline anymore. But even if you do have a landline, this is still a functional idea. But for those who have cell phones only, usually we have one. We don't always have it on us at home. And since we are, Nancy talked about females having maybe more issues with falls. Females also have issues with, they don't always have pockets. So that's a thing too. So we don't always have our cell phone on us. There are things that we can do, like I've seen lanyards, you can put your cell phone so you keep it around your neck. There's all kinds of little not gadgets, but little bags and things that can be used for that. But this is a phone that can be connected to your cell phone, and so if your cell phone rings, this rings. And they have, it's by Bluetooth, it's connected by Bluetooth, and there's a couple of different brands that you can use. This one is a set of 3, they come in sets of 5 and 6 and 2, and so all different configurations. Some have a voicemail, you don't necessarily need that, but so there's lots of options, but this gives you the way to have a phone all over the house, so that you can be in the living room and answer the phone if your cell phone's in the bedroom, and you don't have to, because what do we do when the phone rings? We move fast, right? Try to run to it. Well, we don't want to have to do that. So that is an idea to have this. And on a TV show that I watched, and I'll just not go there, but these 2 women, they lived together, and one of them fell. The other one tried to help her up, and guess what? She's on the floor now too. And guess where the phone is? It's up there, and they can't get to it. So one of these kinds of sets that has multiple handsets, perhaps you keep one on the floor, like Nancy has her snacks on the floor, you keep one of the handsets there. So if in emergency, you can get to that and call 911 or call somebody. There are also devices, I don't have anything here, and anybody that has a smartwatch will know, like especially, I know the Apple Watches, I think my Android, my Samsung watch will do it too, I'm not positive, but they detect falls. And there are other devices that you can wear that will detect falls. And people who wear the emergency buttons, I've fallen and I can't get up buttons, that is a service that can be added to it, is to have the fall, where it knows if you've fallen, and it will call your caregiver, whoever's connected to it. So having that on, having a smartwatch, or having some kind of device that will detect a fall. They don't necessarily call 911, but they would be connected to your person you connect them to. So those are great ideas. Lots of runners wear devices like that. So, you know, if you're not looking, if you look for something that's, you don't think, well, that's not for me, I'm not a runner, but they have devices that runners use that keep them connected when they're out there running. Because most people that are serious runners, they run by themselves, so they have to be able to get help if needed. So you can find devices like that. The thing about assistive technology, which all of this is it doesn't have to be high tech. I mean, this, you just plug this little thing in and you know, it works. It gives you light. I mean, look at this. This little light switch turner is assistive technology. So we're happy to help here at Legacy Link. If you have questions, we have an assistive technology coordinator here. She can help you find things. Talking with your healthcare provider, talking with a therapist. Somebody can come out and do a home assessment and see if there's things in your house that you need to work to make safer. And we have some materials here as well. A home safety checklist. Nancy mentioned about
This one.
She mentioned about the contrasting colors. There's a fall risk assessment. So we have some materials, and if you want to get those from us, we can get them out to you at another time as well.
Several of these are linked on the Northeast Georgia Fall Prevention site. Mention that
Yes,
one.
so we also have a Northeast Georgia Fall Prevention Coalition for our region. So we have a website, and it's on the Legacy Link website as well, I believe. So if you have questions about the Fall Prevention Coalition, let us know that as well. And those materials, as Nancy mentioned, are linked on there too, so you can get to them that way. I think, does anybody have any questions? So we're going to turn it over to Holly. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I think I'm almost dry, but I'm not sure yet. So, anywho, thank you so much. I'm so happy that I'm here this morning, not only to speak with all of you, but also to hear the information that the ladies just provided. So thank you so much for going over all of those things. My name is Holly Johnson. I am the volunteer coordinator and the Aging in Place program director at Habitat for Humanity of Hall County. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of who I am, who Habitat is, what we do, and how we might be of assistance to yourselves or anyone that you know within the Hall County area. Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization. It was founded in 1976. And the most inspirational thing is that even though it is relatively a newer nonprofit, they are in over 70 different countries now worldwide. So it has grown exponentially in quite a short time span. We have jurisdiction over Hall County, so we're able to serve residents that live within Hall County. When you think of Habitat for Humanity, you traditionally think about building homes, right? Well, building homes and Jimmy Carter. Those are the two things that most think about. I did when I first joined the team myself. However, we in Hall County officially launched a new program on January 1st, 2023, that's called Aging in Place. Not every Habitat affiliate does this. Some of them call the program something different. So if you have contact with someone else that's in another county, because Habitats do operate by county, you might see it called a brush of kindness or a brush with kindness. Basically, what this program is we are providing home repair assistance to residents. Again, some other habitats might not have any age qualifiers associated with their home repair programs. That's not cool. But Habitat of Hall County does. And so ours is called Aging in Place. Through this program, we actually assist Hall County homeowners who are 55 years of age or older with home repairs. So it really runs the gamut as far as the program goes, from those that have a need for a new roof or maybe just a roof repair, to those that have a need for an accessibility ramp. Perhaps they have limited mobility, perhaps they are in a wheelchair or on a walker. I call those Cadillacs. Perhaps they just have some type of mobility issue and they're not quite in a device such as a wheelchair or on a walker yet, but they know that they need that additional assistance. And so that's where we as in Habitat of Hall County step in. We started here in Hall County in 1989. We're currently on home number 70. That includes homes that we do build for our new home ownership program and homes that we help assist with in repairs. As far as doing home modifications for those that do have, let's say, a mobility issue, limited mobility, or they're just trying to plan ahead, because that is one of the most important steps, right, is planning ahead and making sure that you can age gracefully with and within your home. So what we do is we start each application and process by doing a home visit. That is where our Habitat staff and sometimes volunteers are out meeting face-to-face with the homeowner who has called in and notified Habitat that they indeed do have some sort of need, right? So we go out, we meet face-to-face with the homeowner, and we're able to get a visual on the home itself. Many times, I know I've myself experienced this in my time with Habitat, many times we'll go out and someone will call us and say, hi, my roof is leaking. When we go out, we find not only is the roof leaking, but they have a need for an accessibility ramp, right? Because they have 3 or 4 steps getting up to their front door, they have a mobility issue, or they're trying to plan ahead, and it's not safe. Other times we'll go in, and yes, we'll address that roof issue, but we also realize they have a need for grab bars. Let's say they need a grab bar near the toilet. Let's say they need a grab bar near the shower or bathtub. Let's even go as far as to say that someone cannot safely access their shower or bathtub even with a grab bar. Oftentimes, we'll even do a total replacement of their shower and bathtub to include something that no longer has a step up or step, it's really just a step into that shower, and that also has a chair to sit in, right? So we're trained, our staff, our volunteers are trained to notice little things as we're going through the home meeting with the homeowner, as far as visualizing and also asking those important questions of what can we do to help you plan ahead so that you are indeed aging with and within your home, right? Habitat is all in the business of trying to eradicate homelessness, whether that is a family of 4 that cannot afford rent, or if it's someone that is 82 years old and has lived in their home for 52 years, but it's getting to the point to where they cannot safely remain in said home. So within the Aging in Place program, when you traditionally think of Habitat for Humanity, one of the slogans that you might have heard and that Habitat often uses is that Habitat offers a hand-up, not a hand-out program, right? And so as a nonprofit, Habitat really does pride themselves on partnering with those that they are assisting. Again, whether it's someone coming through the new homeownership program or Aging in Place. The beauty of our Aging in Place repair program here in Hall County is that unlike the new homeownership program, where we're quite literally building a home from the ground up framing-wise, Aging in Place is gifted to homeowners who qualify for the program. That means that there is never any money exchanged as far as homeowner to Habitat goes. There's never any ask as far as Habitat making an ask to a homeowner, right? They don't have to come in, they don't have to volunteer unless they want to do something creative. There is nothing that they need to worry about as far as something standing in their way of barrier to receiving the assistance that Habitat can provide. There is an application process. Because we do operate this program solely on grants, private donations, and fundraising efforts, we do have to be selective in who we are able to assist, right? So one of the ways we do that is through the application process. At this time, for those that are interested in receiving assistance from Habitat for Humanity of Hall County through the Aging in Place program, that does include, A, the person has to be a homeowner, right? We have to be speaking directly with the homeowner so that we can ensure that we have the proper notification and ability to go in there and actually do these repairs that we're engaging in. Number 2, the individual has to be 55 years of age or older. So I know Legacy Link, I think the age might be 60 or maybe 62, somewhere around that time frame. But for Habitat, we define, age is just a number, let me say this first, but we define a senior as someone that is 55 years of age or older, and that's something that has to do with Habitat's internal funding. That's why it's defined as that. So first and foremost, have to be a homeowner, have to be 55 years of age or older. And thirdly, you have to be within a certain income bracket to be able to receive this assistance from Habitat for Humanity of Hall County. What I mean by that is we do follow HUD guidelines that are published each June of each year, right? And so it depends on the occupancy of the home. There is a maximum amount of income that one can make per year to be able to qualify for this program. Again, because it is our gift to a homeowner, we want to make sure that we are able to do the most impact with the limited funds and ability and resources that we have. All right, so once again, if someone's interested, once you come in or you call over the phone and you put in an application, generally it takes around 4 to 6 weeks for Habitat to be able to process that application and actually come out to do that face-to-face home evaluation with the homeowner in question. From there, we decide whether it is something that we can accomplish, Habitat can accomplish internally with the help of their construction staff and volunteers, or if it's something that we need to partner with contractors on. As you can imagine, if we do have a roof replacement or there's a plumbing issue, those are things that we partner with contractors on. But for the most part, anything that would be related to making sure that the home is safe from fall risks, that's something that Habitat's able to achieve internally, and thus takes a little less time because there's less hands in the pot, right? We're able to completely construct internally accessibility ramps. We are able to change light bulbs if that's something that needs to be done, again, to make the home a little bit safer. We are able to come in and install grab bars internally. That's something that our staff and our volunteers do quite easily and quite quickly, I might add. And again, just being able to connect with that homeowner and really have eyes on the situation ourselves and even make those recommendations of what could make the home safer has been something that has been a real joy and a game changer for Habitat. I can share that we officially once again launched this program on January 1st of 2023, and as of today, we have had 45 different homeowners in Hall County with needs that we have identified as something that we can actually assist with, right? Out of that, in the last year and some days, we have completed 57 different projects, because oftentimes someone comes to us and has a laundry list of needs, right? But we've completed 57 different projects, many of which are ensuring that the home is safe. That's the ultimate goal of Aging in Place, is making sure that the home is safe and secure for the homeowner, and that the homeowner can continue to live and, again, age gracefully with and within the home for as long as they need to. All right, so any questions based on anything I've touched on thus far? Questions? I have business cards in the back. I'm happy to speak to anyone one-on-one. If you yourself know of someone, or maybe you have a need for a home repair, I'm happy once again to distribute that business card and speak to you one-on-one. If you do have access to the internet, we do have a website. It's habitathallcounty.org. Once again, that's habitathallcounty.org. You can find out more about our Aging in Place program there. You can also find out more about all the other things that Habitat is involved in at that website. Because again, not only do we have the Aging in Place program, but we do have a new homeownership program, other opportunities as well. Okay. I can share personally that I came on board with Habitat in November of 2022, and my background was not in this. I had an event planning background. And so coming into Habitat, I was overwhelmed. I thought, oh my gosh, I have no experience in this. What on earth can I possibly add to this organization, right? And when I first started, I came on board solely as the volunteer coordinator. So my job was just to interface with those that were interested in making a difference within their community, whether it was a one-time occurrence or a recurring event that they took place in. And so within 2 months of my being there, I was asked to take part in Aging in Place, and it has become my favorite part of the job, because I don't think of it as a job. I think of it as an opportunity to not only make the significant life-changing, assistance within homeowners' homes, but also being able to connect with them and really identify what their needs are is a game changer. I can share that I have really worked one-on-one with homeowners that had significant needs. Again, not only was their home quite literally crumbling, but they also weren't safe within it. They were falling often because the carpet was old and it was crumbling up and coming up at the edges, right? And so often their shoes were improper shoes, improper footwear, they're tripping over it. Or they have a walker and it's getting caught on that and they're tripping over it. And it's resulting in hospitalization after hospitalization. And so being able to come in there and in 3 hours, put a brace down on the carpet, or within 2 hours, install a grab bar next to a shower or next to a toilet. Within a day, make sure that we have an accessibility ramp built out, beside of the home, leading up to the entryway of the home, has been something that you can truly see the impact that it's making, right? The results are very quantifiable. You can easily identify and see how much it does change the daily lives of those that we assist. So once again, my name is Holly. If you have any questions, I do have business cards. I'm happy to talk with you one-on-one, or if you want to take a business card and give me a call at a later date, check on the website. We're happy to speak with you further and see how we can assist. Okay, any questions before I skedaddle back to my seat?